All right, let's be honest for a second. When you look at a world map, what do you see? You see the big guys, right? America looks massive, like it just ate a huge meal. Russia is sprawling across the top like it's hogging the world's biggest blanket. You know these places. It's the geopolitical equivalent of only knowing the Kardashians in a family of hundreds. But here's the thing about that map. It's full of secrets. There are nearly 200 countries on this planet with their own stories, their own drama, their own completely baffling traditions that make you go, wait, they do what now? Our mission is simple: to pull back the curtain on 5 countries that will fundamentally change how you see that big, colorful map on the wall. So buckle up, because your worldview is about to get a serious and seriously fun upgrade. First stop, Bhutan. Tucked away in the Himalayas, squished between China and India like the quiet kid in the middle of a loud argument, Bhutan is a place that plays by its own rules. Imagine a place where tradition isn't just a dusty thing in a museum. It's alive, walking down the street in colorful, hand-woven garments. In Bhutan, it is common practice, and considered good luck, to paint giant, colorful, and anatomically detailed phalluses on the sides of houses. Yes, you read that right. While other nations are obsessed with gross domestic product, counting every dollar and cent, Bhutan decided to measure its success based on the collective happiness and well-being of its people. Over 70% of the country is covered in forest, by law, bringing entire communities together in a riot of color and faith. Youth unemployment is a growing concern, as more young people seek opportunities beyond traditional farming. The country is also grappling with the impacts of climate change, which threatens its glaciers and the water supply they provide. Their hope for the future is to master a delicate balancing act, to embrace the 21st century and create jobs for its youth, while fiercely protecting the unique cultural and environmental heritage that makes it, well, Bhutan. Next, we're jetting off to the Indian Ocean, to a place you probably can't find on a map unless you're a professional geographer or a very lost pirate. Meet Comoros, an archipelago of volcanic islands floating between Madagascar and Mozambique. It's a stunning mix of African, Arab, and French influences, creating a cultural blend that's as unique as its location. Comoros is the world's second-largest producer of vanilla and the leading producer of ylang ylang, an essential oil that's a key ingredient in many high-end perfumes, including Chanel No. 5. So, while you may have never heard of Comoros, there's a decent chance you've dabbed a piece of its economy on your wrists before a big night out. The culture here is a rich tapestry woven from Sunni Islam and local traditions. A unique and incredibly expensive tradition is the grand marriage, or grand wedding. This isn't just a one-day affair, it's a series of elaborate, community-wide ceremonies that can last for weeks and cost a fortune, even if it means saving for decades to afford it. Political instability has been a constant issue since its independence from France in 1975, with numerous coups and attempted coups dotting its history, including giant sea turtles and coelacanths, a prehistoric fish once thought to be extinct. The future hope is that political calm will finally allow the perfumed islands to build a sustainable economy and share their incredible beauty with the world. Let's head back to the African continent, to a small, landlocked kingdom nestled between South Africa and Mozambique. You might have known it as Swaziland, but in 2018, King Mswati III decided to change the name to Eswatini, meaning Land of the Swazis. This place is a fascinating paradox. Every year, the country hosts the Umhlanga, or reed dance, a massive cultural ceremony where tens of thousands of unmarried and childless young women and girls travel to the royal kraal to present reeds to the Queen Mother. It's like The Bachelor, but with way more cultural significance, a lot more dancing, and the stakes are, a little higher. The nation's primary challenge is the stark contrast between the wealth of the monarchy and the widespread poverty of its people. Eswatini has one of the world's highest HIV and AIDS prevalence rates, which has created immense social and economic strain. Pro-democracy protests have become more frequent in recent years, with many citizens calling for political reforms and a shift away from absolute monarchy. Our next destination takes us to the northeastern coast of South America, to a country that, shatters all your continental stereotypes. Now, when you think of South America, you probably think of Spanish or Portuguese, salsa dancing, and soccer fanatics. But Guyana has none of that. It's the continent's only English-speaking country, a legacy of its past as a British colony. Guyana is home to Kaieteur Falls, the world's largest single-drop waterfall by volume of water. Forget Niagara, forget Victoria Falls. Kaieteur is an absolute monster, 4 times taller than Niagara Falls and twice as high as Victoria Falls. It's the kind of natural wonder that makes you feel incredibly small and, well, incredibly alive at the same time. Until recently, it was one of the poorest countries in the Western Hemisphere, relying on sugar, rice, and bauxite. Then, in 2015, massive offshore oil reserves were discovered. The country is on the verge of becoming one of the richest nations per capita in the world. The challenge is the resource curse, the risk that this newfound wealth could lead to corruption, inequality, and the neglect of other sectors of the economy. For our final stop, we head to the middle of the Pacific Ocean, to a country that embodies both paradise and peril. Tuvalu is a tiny island nation, a collection of 9 low-lying atolls and reef islands scattered halfway between Hawaii and Australia. Its total land area is just 26 square kilometers, making it the 4th smallest country in the world. The main airport runway doubles as a community park and sports field in the evenings. Tuvalu's most valuable natural resource isn't fish or coconuts, it's its internet domain name. TV. It's the ultimate digital age hustle, turning a country's 2-letter abbreviation into pure gold. As a nation of low-lying atolls, with its highest point just 4.6 meters above sea level, Tuvalu is on the front line of climate change. Rising sea levels threaten to submerge the entire country within a few decades. This isn't a distant, abstract problem. It's a clear and present danger. They are creating a digital twin of their nation, preserving their culture and history in the metaverse in case their physical land disappears. So, we've taken a whirlwind tour. We've seen a kingdom that measures happiness, islands that smell like Chanel No. 5, a monarchy with a reed dance, a Caribbean nation in South America, and a paradise that's fighting for its very existence. It's like watching a movie in black and white when it was filmed in glorious, mind-blowing Technicolor. Each of these countries, in its own unique way, adds a new shade, a new texture to our understanding of what it means to be human on this planet we all share. Learning about Bhutan teaches us that economic growth isn't the only metric for a successful society. Maybe, just maybe, happiness, sustainability, and spiritual well-being are worth pursuing with the same vigor we chase profit. Comoros shows us how history and geography can stir together to create a cultural cocktail you won't find anywhere else, and how a simple flower can connect a remote island to the world of global luxury. When you hear their foreign minister giving a speech to the UN while standing knee-deep in the rising ocean, you realize this isn't about a dot on a map. It's about our shared home. At this point, you might be thinking, okay, that's interesting. Cool facts. But why does a country with a population smaller than my hometown really matter to me? It matters because ignorance makes our world smaller, while curiosity makes it infinite. The ilang ilang from Comoros in your perfume, the .tv domain of your favorite streaming site, the oil from Guyana that will soon impact global energy prices. These connections are real, whether we see them or not. So the world map on your wall or on your screen should look a little different to you now. It's no longer just a collection of shapes and names you vaguely recognize from school. It's a living document, a tapestry of incredible stories. Bhutan, Comoros, Eswatini, Guyana, Tuvalu. These aren't just exotic footnotes. They are vibrant, complex societies, each contributing a unique verse to the epic poem of humanity. They are laboratories of ideas, from measuring happiness to monetizing a domain name to creating a digital nation as a last resort. By taking the time to learn about them, we do more than just accumulate fun facts. We recalibrate our own perspective. You start to see the world not as a collection of us and them, but as a much larger, more complicated, and far more interesting we. This journey doesn't have to end here. For every country we've talked about, there are a dozen more with stories just as compelling. The next time you look at a map, don't just glance at the big familiar shapes. Let your eyes wander. Pick a spot you know nothing about and fall down a rabbit hole of curiosity. I promise you'll come out the other side with a richer, more compassionate, and infinitely more fascinating view of the world. To see the world not as a set of borders that divide us, but as a mosaic of cultures that connect us. To be curious, to be aware, and to be constantly amazed by the sheer variety of life on our small shared planet. Because the more we know about each other, the harder it is to be strangers. And in a world that can often feel divided, that might be the most powerful lesson of all. Now go, explore. The world is weirder and more wonderful than you ever imagined.